figures are down.
So there are two types of Taurian men. The first one is very earthy and grounded, and the second one tends to be more kind of out there in the business world. So the first Taurus. He's very much into his food, the male Taurus. Sometimes you'll see like a typical sort of what I call the Taurian gut. So they have a bit of a belly, and normally quite a short sort of neck and a quite broad shoulders. They are in love with nature and animals, anything that's kind of sensual, very sensual kind of energy, very strong and stoic and secure, could be into housing, property, doing things up, fixing things, farming, and just generally art and photography also. So they could be majorly into anything that captivates the eye for detail, things that are to do with photography, for example. A lot of male Taurians I know are into visual things and visual arts. Okay, so that's the first type of Taurus. Love their food and their beer. So there we are. That's the first type of Taurian. Obviously, it depends on the whole chart. The second type, especially if there's a mix of Gemini in the chart, they can really be just typical businessmen, really. Always on the phone, doing a sale, working out accounts, workaholic, can be maybe even quite rigid and stubborn and a bit miserable and moody and introverted. So they can really sort of go into their silence, where they just want to be alone, and if there's something on their mind, okay, they won't tell you what it is. It's just like they don't want to express anything about their personal life. Very private. Okay, so two types of Taurian males. Where would you find a Taurus male? Well, I mean, anywhere really. But if you're typically wanting to know where a Taurus male would hang out and that kind of thing, really it's going to be somewhere that's maybe very casual, like the pub, or they may be doing business around your kind of environment. Maybe they're coming in to do some accounts, or maybe they're doing some sales or something like that. Out in nature, maybe in the music industry, because Taurus, ruled by Venus, is related to the throat and singing, as well as entertaining. Known a few magicians actually that are Taurians, or they could just be outside in nature and doing their thing, being with the earth, that kind of thing. And they love to be out there hiking and walking and this kind of thing, but in a very peaceful kind of way. Like they're gonna want somewhere that's very peaceful and somewhere they can reflect, because they're very much in touch with that kind of side, observing and sort of being with the surroundings and just being in the moment, is very much a Taurus male kind of thing. Well, Taurus thing anyway, but the males may be really into that kind of thing and just having that quiet, gentle reflection and being with nature. So what does a Taurus male dislike? Well, first thing is they don't like to be pushed at the wrong time. It's a very slow, steady, gentle moving sign generally. So if they're pushed at a time where, for example, they feel very under pressure, they could really snap, and they have a very slow temper, but when they lose it, boy, do they lose it. It's literally like a bull in a china shop, because Taurians are known to repress their emotions, especially the men. So if you really do end up getting on the wrong side of them at the wrong time, then you could be in for some real drama, basically. So that's the first thing. The second thing is They don't really like surprises. So this is a typical Taurian, a very strong Taurus, unless the chart suggests otherwise. Obviously, they're really not one for like loud noise. So you know, if somebody's talking very loudly, or maybe you're going somewhere that's very noisy, like crowds and London buses, and they're not really into that kind of thing, unless you get the Taurus businessman. But yeah, just a word of warning about noise, disruption. They like their routines being broken up. They just have to think of everything as being steady, slow, at slow pace. They won't really like sort of like a love interest that's very provocative. They don't really tend to like that unless there's Mars and Gemini or something. But they do love that sensuality. So anything that goes against, and if you know, things that are sensual and things that are loving, then you know, they won't like that. They long for peace. They only ever sort of lose their temper if they really have to, and if they have to be confrontational, it has to be for a very pragmatic reason. But they really don't like fights and drama and things like that. They really would just prefer to keep things very simple. What does a Taurus male need from a relationship in love? Well, he needs very much similar, really. He needs steady support. He quite likes somebody that is perhaps going to be very much in touch with their feminine side. They love the sensuality of a relationship. They will appreciate going out if it's planned carefully, but they also like, you know, nights in and that kind of thing. They also need that stability. They need somebody that knows that they are going to work with them, and they also need patience. So they need somebody that's going to be patient with them, because they can be quite frustrating if you're used to sort of living in the fast lane a lot. And then you're with a steady, slow Taurus that just wants to do things when they want to do it. You know, maybe that's not for you. You're going to be a love interest that needs to be very patient with them, calming, and you know, they love the romance. They're very romantic usually. So you know, things like sort of maybe something whereby you are tending to their needs and sensitivity. It's very sensitive too. They need to be understood. And they just need to have a commitment. It's a fixed sign, fixed earth. It likes to build foundations, okay? So if you think about a fixed earth sign, it really just wants to build that solid formation in a relationship. If you're looking for something that is a sort of part-time fling, that's not normally what they're like. If you're a strong Taurus and you have a lot of planets in Taurus, it's going to be very unlikely that you would want just to fling with somebody, or a part-time love, or this casual kind of friends benefits thing. That normally it's not usually a thing that a Taurus is about. So it's a great steady sign. If you want a commitment, then a strong Taurus male is perfect. So I hope you enjoyed this video on the Taurus male. Just remember that Taurus male as a sign is very sensitive, very supportive, very secure, very stubborn, hardworking, and loves peace and loves all the finer things in life, okay? So I look forward to seeing you very soon.